That's correct. So, between Canada and US and even international, that whole water vertical is really going out and trying to gather information for agencies, for our customers, for consultants, to have them make better decisions on their infrastructure. I've been in the water industry for about 30 years, 32 actually to be exact, with most of that time working on the public side. I used to work for a large public water utility here in San Diego and was there for about 20 years. And then I have about 10 years of consulting. Most of that time was spent trying to figure out what was going on with these big pipelines and why they were failing and what could we do, and taking all this data and trying to put it into a spot that then we could ask this thing questions and then extract answers out of it quickly. I think, what we were trying to do is to get everything in one spot, just to make it a bit more efficient on the forecasting, on the staff requirements, on our backlog, on Salesforce. And I think at the time, as you know, we had so many different data sources, and trying to pull them into one spot and to make sure they were correct and they're protected and people couldn't erase formulas, and then spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out where that error was. So it really was trying to get everything into a safe spot for the business. Yeah, it was interesting. Everybody had what they thought was the best process to run their side of the business or their part of the business. And it was generally on an Excel sheet, generally on a drive that wasn't available when you needed it, and trying to bring all those together. So I think we initially just kind of broke off into there's probably 3 groups that were doing their own thing. There was a business development part, and then there was the delivery part, and then there's, I would say, more an operational part, where everybody had different parts of an Excel sheet or a Gantt sheet that they felt was sufficient for them to execute their work. The problem was, when there was a change in one of those 3 hubs of a schedule or a cost or resourcing, it didn't tell the other 3 hubs or 2 hubs. So that we were always guessing, or we'd get down to the end and we thought we were going to have a forecast of X and it was Y. Then we had to go backwards and figure out why. I wish I knew how many hours we've saved having this new tool. I gotta imagine it's hundreds of hours without having to go back and recreate data or extract data. It goes in once. Whereas before we were probably touching the data, 4, 5, 6 times. For us to spend time doing other things rather than, adjusting an Excel sheet or finding a formula that's wrong, or, having that extra time really doing things for the business that we should be, to help expand it and help our clients and work that way. That's been huge. Because anytime there was an issue in the sheet, as you know, Lance, sometimes we had to go back 2 weeks of our last copy and start over again. Having the ability to see what our current margins are forecasting, whether it's on the day, week, month, year, and business development, they're out and they're trying to, maybe entice a new client to come over and try some stuff. So they want to, maybe come in at a lower margin to help that. And whereas in the past, we kind of had a feel for it. Like, okay, well, how are we doing as a whole? Yeah, we can take that. We're willing to do that. Whereas now you can see, down to the business development person, down to the region. We have the ability now to say, well, as a group, as assessment services, as the water vertical, should we take that risk now? What should we do as a group? Ask for things that you might not think are possible. Ask for as many as you can, because they are possible, and you'd be surprised. I think that's one of the things I kind of learned on this is having the ability to ask those questions, and your team recognizing how hard it was. It was never a no, it was a maybe, and we'll see what we can do to get there.